Hey guys, welcome back. So today I just want to do a quick video, or at least I hope it's a quick video, because I got a few new things and it was requested that I do a review on the new Cover FX Power Play Concealer that I got last week. So I figured I would utilize this time to also kind of incorporate a few new things that I've acquired over the last couple weeks, even though I know I said I would try to stop buying things, but I'm now officially on a non-essential no-buy, if you will. I am still waiting on my Becca Skin Love foundation color to come back in stock because it's been a couple weeks and it's still not back in stock, and I'm working out of a sample. So other than that, I am trying to buy less. But needless to say, when Cover FX released the Power Play Concealer, I couldn't resist buying it. Cover FX is one of my favorite brands, especially for their base products, like their foundations, concealers, powders, all of those things. So I definitely had to get my hands on that one. And then I saw that Katie Jane Hughes, who I'm obnoxiously obsessed with, has been loving their concealer as well. So based on that, I grabbed it. So I figured while I was getting ready for my day, I would just kind of talk through my feelings about the concealer, and yeah, let's get into it. So I must say I probably look a little extra dewy because right now inside my house it feels like, actually not feels like, it is actually 80 degrees in here and I'm boiling. So I'm gonna try to get through this as quick as I can without everything melting off my face. So I'm just gonna quickly throw some foundation on my face. I'm still using the Becca Skin Love foundation, still obsessed with it. However, this is Driftwood and this is certainly my tan color. I've already lost most of my tan from the summer, but I do have this tiny little sample here. I'm pretty sure this one, yeah, this one's called Buff, and this has not been in stock for weeks, which is driving me a little bit insane. So I've been literally mixing this one with Driftwood. I do have Cashmere, yes, it's called Cashmere, still in my basket on my app. Just, you know, if need be, I'll get that color to kind of mix things in, but I'm praying that they come, or that Buff comes back in stock. So I'll just be mixing these two for my foundation. Last time I applied this on camera, I was using just a beauty blender to blend it all in, but I've learned recently that I do actually just like using a foundation brush, and I've been using the MAC 170 for that. This is by far my favorite foundation brush, so that's what I'll be doing today. And I've also started applying a lot less foundation. My one coworker noticed instantly when I walked into work the one day that I had changed how I did my makeup, and it was just by applying less foundation to my face, because right now I don't have too many breakouts, just kind of some hormonal stuff on my jawline. So really I'm just going to be applying the foundation kind of where I need it and then concealer everywhere else. So I'm still finishing my foundation with a beauty blender just to kind of make sure everything's really in there. And also, like I said before, I'm boiling hot right now. So I'm just trying to really make that work into my skin. And this foundation is a medium coverage, but I do find that it gives me kind of all the coverage I need. Like I did have a couple breakouts I forgot on my chin and like this area here that's still healing. And just with that little bit of foundation, like I only used a pump and maybe a little bit of the lighter color to kind of match my skin better, and it covered everything I needed it to cover. And actually, because I had extra, I just dragged it down my neck just to make sure everything was more blended. Wearing hoops is not ideal for this. Anyways, so I'll just zoom you in quickly just to show you what this foundation looks like on my skin up close, and hopefully you can see it. But this foundation to me really does look quite skin-like, and I do have a good base underneath with my moisturizer, so it does look a little more glowy. But I mean, of course I have a couple spots I need to cover up with a little extra concealer, but overall I just think this foundation is beautiful. I've talked about it highly before, but just wanted to show you again. So now I'll get into the reason why we're here today, and that's to give my thoughts on the new Cover FX Power Play Concealer. So I absolutely love Cover FX. I don't think that I've loved a brand for so long in my entire life. I've literally been using them for the last 9 years. Their pressed mineral foundation is by far my favorite pressed powder. Nothing has yet to top this for me. And I think it was last year they came out with their Power Play foundation, and while I did like it, it was a little bit too matte for me, but it's definitely one of those foundations that I will probably mix in with other foundations if I need it to be, I don't know, to make my other foundations more matte or to give it a little more longevity. I definitely think this is a great foundation if you have more oily skin. It has such a great shade range. Cover FX just nails it basically with every product that they come out with. So when they came out with their concealer here, I don't even know where I was or why I didn't know it was coming out. I basically just saw that they had released it and I instantly went online and grabbed my shade. So I was kind of expecting their concealers to have the same shade range as their foundations and essentially all of their skin products. So they kind of go from G, N, and P. So it's golden, neutral, and pink. I'm obviously in the golden range. My foundation shade for the winter is G20. And for summer I've been using well, I guess my powder is G30, but I can use up to G50 for most of my colors with them. But for the concealer range, I grabbed G Light 2, and I think they go in different categories. So there was also a G Light 1, G Light 2 I thought would be perfect, especially if I'm brightening under my eyes. It's definitely a color that may be a little bit too light for the rest of my face, so I have only been using this under my eyes and maybe a little bit on my chin or my nose just to brighten things up. But I do want to get my hands on, I think it was medium 1 or 2, but I need to see that in person before I get it. So for now, I'll just be kind of showing how I use the G Light 2 under my eyes and on other places of my face to highlight them. So the first thing about this concealer is the applicator is super different than really any applicator I've kind of seen. It's this large ball shape, which makes it actually quite nice for applying under your eyes. So that's what I'm gonna do now. It does say this is a creaseless concealer. So you can see, obviously this is too bright for the rest of my face. So that's why I've been using it just under my eyes and then, you know, the highlighting places of my face. And you really don't need a lot, I find, with this one. I'll put a little bit down my nose, just because. Also that noise, I think it's funny. But I do like to blend this out with a sponge. And I'll take it onto my eyes a little bit too. And it does give really great coverage. I think it makes my under eyes look super bright and hydrated. I don't find it too matte. I was finding the Tarte Shape Tape was too dry for my under eyes. Mind you, I do also have a hydrating eye cream on from Clinique because my under eyes have been really dry. I've also potentially found a under eye cream that doesn't make my eyes freak out, but it does give really great coverage. I don't think it's quite as much coverage as the Shape Tape concealer, but I did find that the Shape Tape concealer was giving me almost too much of a, I don't know, this is maybe a good thing for some people, but too much of a full coverage look for me, and that's kind of not really what I've been into lately. But I find that this gives you just kind of the right amount of coverage. And I'm not sure if it's because I've been using a hydrating under eye cream, but I definitely have to set this concealer. This doesn't kind of set on its own for me, even though it does say it's creaseless. So I still have to go in with my RCMA No Color powder to set everything. But other than that, I'm really kind of liking the way it looks on my skin. You can see it does just kind of brighten up my eyes, and like that little breakout that I had, it's pretty well covered. On my skin type, I've still been using my NARS concealer kind of on the areas of my face that needs a little bit more coverage. Because it is a soft matte concealer, the NARS one, I find that it doesn't slip around quite as much on me. But I do think that once I get this concealer in a darker shade, I will start using it more on my face, because I've been seeing the way that Katie Jane Hughes has been doing it, and she just kind of dots it around her face and blends it out, and it does look flawless. So once I get it in a few darker shades, then I will definitely be trying that out. But for now, I just really have been liking it as my under eye concealer. I do find that the NARS concealer that I use is a little bit too dry under my eyes, so this is kind of perfect. I do also find that once I set this concealer, it does look good all day long. So So far so good. I'm super happy with it, and it's more accessible to us in Canada than the Shape Tape concealer, so that's even more of a bonus. So I'm just gonna go off camera to finish the rest of my base, and then I'll be back to talk about my next favorite product that I've been using that I have waited so long to buy, and now I finally have it and I'm super excited for. So the next product I want to talk about is something that I've had my eyes on for a really long time, and it's by Tilbury. And as soon as they brought this line to Sephora, I knew I had to get it right away, except it went out of stock almost instantly. So as soon as it came back in stock, I got my hands on it. And this is the Hollywood Flawless Filter for Superstar Youth Glow, which I think is a hilarious description. Either way, I saw Samantha Ravndal using this, I saw a few other people using this, and I never really thought that this was something that I necessarily would love so much. But now that I've been using it for the last 4 days or so, I've had so many compliments on my skin, and I just love the way it makes my skin look. I've not been able to get this type of highlight or this type of glow with a powder highlight in a really long time, so this is kind of exactly what I've been looking for without even realizing that this is what I was looking for. So I find the best way to apply it for my skin type is I take a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I'll just take my beauty blender and dab it into the product, and then I apply it just to this kind of area of my face. I do take it a little bit onto my cheeks here, but I just think that this area of your face when it's highlighted looks, you know, really beautiful. So I've tried this product underneath of my makeup, and I just found that it didn't really work for my skin type. It kind of made my foundation sit a little bit weird, but I literally have all of my, you know, my bronzer and my blush on, and this sits just so perfectly on top even after I've powdered my face, which I love. Kind of makes it really user friendly. And as you can see, it just gives your skin the most healthy glow. It gives that wet glow that everyone kind of wants from a product, and I just find that I don't get that when I use my powder products. And I found that a lot of the creams or stick highlighters that I've bought have all been too sticky, if you will, and this one does stay a little bit tacky, but not tacky enough that it makes my makeup move around at all. And then with whatever excess I have just left on my sponge, I'll take it on my nose a little bit on my chin, and then just kind of dab it around the rest of my face. There's not really much excess, it's just enough. And then, as you can see zoomed in, it really does just kind of make my skin look like it's super healthy and glowy, and just, you know, everything that I've been trying to find in a powder highlight. And I really never thought I would be a cream highlight person, but Tilbury has changed my ways. So I also grabbed myself a new eyeshadow palette that I've had my eyes on, and really the only reason I got this was because I was able to buy it with my Shoppers Optimum points. But this is the Born to Run palette from Urban Decay, and again, what solidified me buying this one or getting this one was the fact that essentially every YouTuber has been talking about it, but also Katie Janie Hughes used it in one of her live videos the other day, and it kind of sold me on it. It's just one of those palettes that I think is super versatile, has all the warm tones I like, has a lot of really nice shimmery colors in there, and some purples that I've been kind of slowly getting into, so I figured it would be kind of a perfect one to pick up. Even if I just throw it in my kit, I think it'll be great. But I'm just gonna do something really quick with it today. Don't want to do anything too intense. I'm not really doing a whole lot today, so I just kind of wanted to dip into it today. And yeah, so before I get into the eyeshadow, and before I forget, I have actually had to start using an eyeshadow primer, and I went back to using just one of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potions. This one is Eden. This is a lighter colored one, and my eyelids have been creasing a lot lately, which I'm not really used to, so I've just been kind of putting a little bit of this on, and then taking my Real Techniques little fluff brush here and just kind of blending that out as my base. And this one is like a light concealer color, so it does cancel out any of the veins I have on my eyes. I'm not really used to my eyeshadow creasing too much, so I'm not sure what's going on, but could be just I'm using some more rich products on my skin. But I'll just use a little bit of that and pat it out, and I put my eyeshadow just directly on the tacky base it creates. The eyeshadow look I'm gonna do is almost exactly gonna be the one that I did in my last video. I'm probably just gonna stick to the more warm tones here. There's one called Weekender, which looks like a really nice crease color. Still Shot's a really nice orangey coral color. And this color here, Baja, looks amazing. So I'll probably just be sticking to those guys, and that's really it. So I did go ahead and just finish off the rest of my makeup. I did my mascara and then I finished off with a lip combo that I've really been liking, and they're both products from MAC, to no one's surprise. I've been using Habanero with just a wash of it over my lips, and then I finished off with the classic Clear Lipglass, which I love because it's super sticky. As for the eyeshadow palette, I am actually quite impressed with it. I think that it blended out really nicely. That literally took me 5 minutes to do. I really like this Blaze color right here. This guy right here. It's kind of a, like, comes up as like a champagne color with a bit of a pink kind of shift to it. Don't think that you're gonna be able to see that on camera at all. It's like a goldy pink shift. And I love finishing off my inner corner with a color like that. I think it just kind of gives it a nice bright look. As for the other colors, I love this Rift color as well. This one right here, it's like a really nice warm brown. I don't know, so far so good. If an eyeshadow look can take me 5 minutes, then I'm pretty happy. I also had to grab myself a waterproof mascara because my mascara has been transferring under my eyes, which is a very rare thing for me. So I did pick up a waterproof mascara from Marcel, which is really great because it is an inexpensive brand. This is called the Ultimate Volume Waterproof Mascara, and it's a very wet formula, which I really like. It just has a regular wand like this. And I'm pretty sure you can only get this brand in Canada, but I used to use Marcel mascaras all the time, so I figured I would give it a go, and hopefully this can stop my makeup from transferring all over the place. But also, while I was doing my mascara, I had one of those things where you're kind of like twitch and you get your mascara all underneath of your eyes. So I did have to wipe off part of my under eye concealer, and then I reapplied the Cover FX underneath my eyes and just repowdered it a little bit, and it went on perfectly. I'll get in real close so you guys can see, but I think that my under eyes look pretty great, especially for having to reapply and repowder. It doesn't look too cakey, nothing's been creasing, so I think I'm super happy with this concealer. It's definitely performed just as good as I kind of hoped it would, so it's definitely worth checking out, I think. So I did actually forget to mention a product I used before I put all my makeup on, and that is the new Summer Fridays Overtime mask. Now, I've only used this mask maybe 4 times now, but it does really prep your skin really nicely for makeup. I did it before I did everything today, and it does exfoliate your skin really well, but I haven't been using it quite long enough to really see its full-time effects. It does say it's also a brightening mask, or a mask you should use when you're noticing your skin getting dull. So that's kind of what I've been having issues with lately. My skin has just been looking so dull, so that's why I grabbed it. But so far so good. It's definitely pretty gentle on my really sensitive skin, so that's kind of a plus, and it does smell amazing. It has a lovely orange scent and just kind of smells like Christmas. It smells like clove and like spices, and it's really nice scent, really enjoyable to use. So I definitely would pick it up if you're looking for a mask that's kind of like a quick exfoliating mask and won't cause too much irritation. So yeah, I am loving it. I never grabbed their moisturizing mask because I'm kind of hooked on the Origins Drink Up Intensive Overnight Mask, so I felt like this was the better of the two for me to purchase. But yeah, so far so good. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed my kind of quick little random review on some of the new things that I've been trying out. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, just please let me know. And on that note, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.